Hi, my name's Lucy. I'm a C6 complete tetraplegic and Regain have given me a rugby wheelchair. Wheelchair rugby is kind of one of the main sports for people who are tetraplegic, especially group sports. Having a chair that's structured to your dimensions makes a huge difference because, you know, if you're in a chair that's too big for you and you're quite small, then every time you lean one way, your bum goes whoof, and then you're outside. Well, not quite outside, but whereas if you're snugly, tight in a chair that's the right size for you, you can move so much easier, and you move with the chair rather than in the chair. So you're one, as it were. So, having your own chair makes a huge difference, I think. The rugby players up at London told me about Regain, so I applied for a rugby chair and I was granted it. Suddenly you're whacking into each other and you're flying out the chairs and it's fantastic, and there's just a new lease of life. Just having that exercise is so good for releasing endorphins and kind of your psychological well-being, and it's great to feel part of a group, So I was 18 when I had the accident. I sailing in the Atlantic with some friends and I got hit by the boom and woke up in ITU in Portugal, in Lisbon. I spent 2 weeks there, got flown home, and it didn't really sink in till much later, the severity of what had happened. I did a lot of skiing. I was a keen skier. I was an artist, really. I had a studio in Marylebone with my school, and I shared it with another girl and just painted every day. But because I don't have the studio anymore, I tried painting here, but by the time you've made a whole mess during the day, trying to pack it all up in time for dinner is a bit messy. I was a bit confused about my future. I decided to go to art college and I started that, but I found it really frustrating because the building was really, really inaccessible, and the school just didn't understand my needs, and I was still dealing with all this rubbish. Suddenly everything's changed, so I gave that up, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I think that support is really important, and I think that it's important to get support from within and outside the spinal injuries community. I first got help from social services to set up my care package, which supports me every day. I got my disabled facilities grant, which paid for all the adaptations in my house, and I adapted the bathroom and made it a wet room. And I've adapted the kitchen and made it all so that I can use it. Oops. And it just makes me feel like I have a normal house with a few changes, but you can't really see them. I don't feel like I live in a disabled person's house. Regain's quite specific to kind of sports-related tetraplegia, whether it's people that have had an accident through sport or people who have had an accident and want to play sport. Some of the equipment that they provide can make such a huge amount of difference to somebody with a spinal injury. Some of the equipment, if my rugby chair costs £4,000, but you get guys that for every day need a 10 grand electric chair. If you're suddenly spinally injured and you're told, well, you need this chair, but I'm really sorry, it costs 10 grand, what are you going to do? That's a lot of money for some people. And so having these charities around, and especially Regain, that, can support tetraplegics and allow them to have such a good quality of life, is really important.